My guest today is an absolute legend.
The profits that these gold companies are making.
What are the top 3 reasons anybody should own Golden Cariboo today?
The Cariboo Gold Belt is very prolific. Found one mine, put 2 into production. It's a party, not everyone's shown up yet. You know, the good partiers come a little bit later. So I expect the public is going to come.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. My guest today is an absolute legend in the mining space, 30-year veteran and multiple deposit discoverer, Frank Callahan, CEO of Golden Cariboo, joins me now from Vancouver. Frank, welcome.
Nice to be here. Nice, good to see you again, James.
You bet. Frank, let's cut straight to the chase here. What are the top 3 reasons anybody should own Golden Cariboo today?
Proven management team. They've found one mine, put 2 into production. The last one's a 6 million ounce deposit. It's going into production apparently the 4th quarter of this year. It's going to start out doing like 220,000 ounces a year for apparently the first 3 years and 160,000 ounces a year after. That'll mine them 2 million of the 6 million known ounces. That's one deposit. We poured a gold bar. We found that. And took us 14 years to get it fully permitted. And then Cisco Royalties came and picked that up. And we've had QR. We put that into production. Ran that for a few years and successfully, and now we're chasing down another one in a proven camp.
So you're in the same area that you've been working your whole life, pretty much.
Well, not my whole life, but thank you. Yeah.
well, every time I've ever looked at what you're doing, it's always somewhere in northern BC.
Yeah, well, actually, it's dead center British Columbia. So the Cariboo Gold Belt is a very prolific gold belt. The ground that we're on, that is part of an extension of where we found one deposit. It's there's 101 creeks there have recorded gold production, and the gold's come from somewhere, so it's hunting it down. And that's what we're doing, and we're having great success.
So what's your best drill hole to date?
So in terms of width, it was 263 meters. It was only 1/3 of a gram, but it just gives you an idea just how wide the deposit actually is. I think the best grade would be, I think it was something like 140 odd meters of 1.77 grams, I think, somewhere in that range. Don't hold me that. I'm sure it's probably pretty close to that.
Sure. What's the size of the deposit you're exploring in terms of square kilometers?
So I'm going to suggest we're probably about 1.3 kilometers that we've drilled from sort of the start to where we are now. We're advancing 100 meters every drill hole. We reported yesterday that we've got some surface exposure, that we've got some assays back. It's running just about a gram, but it's straight ahead of where we are. And so it's the geologists are extremely pleased with that find. The difficulty here is outcrop. There's very limited. Glaciation is just deposited anywhere from, say, 3 meters to upwards of 30 meters of gravel in certain areas on this sort of mountaintop. So we're like in a valley almost, but it's all gravel on top. So outcrop is a bit of a challenge to find. The geophysics has been excellent. It was actually completed by a Cisco development, actually did that work program. We're using it. And they coincidentally surround us on 3 sides. So we're very pleased.
Mm-hmm. So they're probably a logical acquirer if things going well in the exploration department.
Well, we're friendly, right? I mean, they know we work hard and we find deposits, and they like what they've acquired already, and I think they feel confident that of where we are. Sean Ruzin and his team totally get the model that we're working on. It's something like what you see between Abitibi and Val-d'Or, and that belt is 300 million ounces of gold is somewhere in the neighborhood of that production. It's on a greenstone contact, and this is much the same as that. So it's similar rocks, but the model is very similar.
Mm-hmm. How much drilling are you going to do in 2025, and is that going to get you to a resource, a PEA? Where's that going to get you?
So we've told the public we're at hole 19. We've reported up to hole 14, or pardon me, up to hole 15. So there's still a few that are, in process or at the lab, whichever they may be. We'll carry on this year working till the end of December 22nd, and we start back January the 6th. And it's our intention to continue drilling all year round. So, possibly on average, we're getting a couple of, let me do that in metrics. So we're doing somewhere north of, say, 60 or 70 meters a day is on average, because you've got to set up and move and there's maintenance and stuff, but probably on average, that's what we're getting. So we intend to we drill 7 days a week, 12 months of the year. So it's whatever we can come up with. And at the end of next season, we'll have a look and see what that looks like.
Okay, and so in terms of infrastructure surrounding the area, how remote is this? How close is it to access? What kind of power is available, assuming you go the distance and put a mine into production?
Well, so that's the best part of this whole project. Like all the best mines in Canada are alongside a highway, this is one of them too. So we're about 4 kilometers off of the highway that connects between Quesnel and Prince George. We're at halfway point in the middle. The infrastructure, there's a railroad right alongside the property. There's hydro right alongside the property. We've got a small town, a community of less than 500, the town of Hickson. They've got a couple of motels. I think there's 3. We rent one of them complete. So we've got all the infrastructure that's required. Actually, the local community is helping us. There's a family in particular that we've got the daughters, the mother, the father, the uncle, everybody in town sort of part of the project. So it's fantastic that way. I mean, you're able to get everything you want there.
Sure. Okay, and so what is the level of exploration activity in that region of British Columbia at this point, given the rising gold price? Is it extremely busy? Is there a lot of pressure and competition for exploration deposits and resources, or is it relatively calm and quiet and you've kind of got the run of the place?
Probably the latter, and the reason being is that back in the day, when we assembled the initial Cariboo Gold project, that property was some 60-odd kilometers long. Sean stretched that now to 90 kilometers long. So there's not room for an awful lot of other players to come in. Tom McNeil and his project, they're working on a similar model that we have right now, and I expect that they're going to come up with some joy. They just started their drill program in the last few days. But there's not many. I mean, we've got deposits alongside of us. Blackwater is over to the west of where we are. It's a 12 million ounce deposit. To the south of where we are, almost in identical rocks, is the Spanish Mountain deposit. It's just light of 5 million ounces. Then you've got the Sean Ruzin refers to it as the Beachhead, his 6 million ounce deposit that they're working on, and then there's where we are. There's also, you've got Gibraltar, Mount Holly. There's a few other mines that are actually in production that are further to the south, but on the same trend that we are. So similar rock.
Okay, interesting. And then in terms of raising capital for drilling in gold projects right now, what's the general appetite in the marketplace? Are you finding it challenging, or is there a lot of interest given the gold price now?
That's a great question. Raising money has been a challenge. There's no doubt about it, more so than I've seen in my career. And it's like, I've used the analogy, it's a party, not everyone's shown up at the party yet. The good partiers come a little bit later. So I expect the public is going to come soon. You needed to see the mid-tiers or the seniors go first, and they're going. They're up 15, 20, some of them even a little higher percentage-wise. The mid-tiers will go next, and then the junior market. I expect you to start seeing more of that in the, as we go into 2025. I think that the profits that these gold companies are making. I mean, gold is north of, it was almost 3,800 Canadian. I mean, and we mine in Canadian dollars and sell in US. So when you think about the price of the metal, it's a far cry from when it was $250 when I started in this industry to the current price in US dollars now is, $2,750 an ounce. It's just a myth, yeah.
You bet. All right, Frank, we're going to leave it there for now. We're going to come back to you in due course. Thanks very much for your time today. We'll see you again soon.
You bet. Thank you so much. Well done. Thanks, James. Good to have you back. Bye-bye.